Well, that was interesting. Jean couldn't help but feel. It wasn't every day one got to travel by the Galinda Express. Sometimes he had half wondered if she could use that in the bedroom, and what it might feel like. This lifetime certainly wouldn't be his chance to find out, though, if the way she glared at him as she left him with the headmaster was any indication. She could have frozen the Grim Dragon solid with that look. But that would put Ruby out of the job, wouldn't it? "Greetings, Mr. Ark." The headmaster greeted, gently lifting a mug of coffee to his lips and taking a short sip. A stalling tactic, used to create tension or fear. To mask the man's silence in an action that could excuse him. It was meant to make Jaune sweat. It made him thirsty, but that was about it. "Greetings, Ozpin." Jaune nodded back pleasantly. The older man sighed. It looked like he had been working on something when Galinda had stolen through the door. Though with the cameras Jaune knew he kept around the academy, the idea that he would not know they were approaching was definitely nonsense. Another move to make Jaune feel guilty that he had intruded on work. "You have been making life awfully difficult for Miss Goodwitch," Ozpin said, beginning the lecture. "This is a nice office you have here," Jaune said. "A few individual cases might be overlooked." The man went on. "But you seem to have made it a mission to get on Galinda's nerves." Jaune ran a finger along the mahogany desk. "You know what? I really like this desk. Mr. Ark, I wonder if you've ever been a student over it. Do you understand the situation you are in, Mr. Ark?" Jaune looked at Ozpin. "I hope that's not a proposition, Mr. Headmaster," Jaune said. "I don't swing that way. Your performance in class is, well, middling at best." Any other man might have reacted in anger. Ozpin simply raised one eyebrow but ignored Jaune's words. "You score persistently low in tests and assignments, though your homework is of higher quality. I take it your team helps with that?" "Odd, isn't it?" Jaune asked. "How I might perform poorly in something I have never in this life studied." Ozpin sighed. "We might overlook that if your combat skills were better, but it seems that you have made something of a mockery of those in Miss Goodwitch's lessons. Unauthorized weapons, abstract ways of avoid fighting at all. You'd almost think I didn't know better." Jaune kept his voice even. "Forgive me for doing what I have to in order to have a chance against people who have been training for this for over 7 years. I don't exactly have the advantages they do. Some people here have had semblances for longer than I've even known about Aura." The headmaster leaned back with a sigh. Jaune wondered how he would find his way out of this one. He wasn't from Signal, Sanctum, or whatever other prep school there were. "I'm not ready." Jaune tried to force the message into the man's mind. "Get the hint already." And yet we both know that isn't strictly true, don't we? The headmaster gently tapped an interface on his desk. It took a gargantuan amount of effort for Jaune to keep his face calm as a scene appeared. It was a familiar one. It ought to be, considering that it had happened only a week or so ago, when Jaune had been forced to defend himself after that idiot Cardin had launched him into the forest. The record showed him decimating Grim with ease, Grokamores rising and falling like silver streaks of lightning. Ozpin froze the scene. It had to be a coincidence, but the look on the man's face said it was just incredible timing. The image had stopped on Jaune smiling. Bloody Cardin fucking Winchester. Any man can fight for his life. Jaune shrugged, trying to remain as calm as he could. "I've killed a Beowulf before I've even had Aura. Desperation can make you do things. It doesn't make me skilled. It just makes me lucky." "An interesting amount of luck you have then, Mr. Ark. You must be a very lucky man." "I'm the unluckiest man you've ever met." "I've also heard that your relations among Team Jazzberry are less than ideal. They all want to be hunters." Jaune left it unsaid that he did not. Ozpin got the message. "If you but give them the chance, you might find that there is more to those young ladies than you realize. Teams form bonds that can last decades. they can become a family. Yeah? Well, I already have a family. Jaune interrupted. Besides, it's not like I've refused to interact with my teammates. We just have different views on things. I guess that's the difference between a hunter and a civilian. They're nice girls though. Maybe he was being too obvious, constantly referring to the difference. Ozpin surely caught on to it, but there was little the man could do. For all intents and purposes, Jaune was a civilian. No amount of wordplay could change that. The first semester is coming to a close in a little over a week, the headmaster said. There will be a short holiday, only a week, but lessons will resume after that, and I'm looking forward to visiting my family. I'm afraid, Mr. Ark, you will not be able to. The silver-haired man nodded down to Jaune's legs, making the younger man scowl. Then I'm looking forward to them coming to Vale to visit me, unless that is to be denied to me as well. I do not wish for you to see me as your enemy, Mr. Ark. The man sighed and stood up, turning and walking away. Ozpin stood against the window, looking outside. Jaune remained seated. I can understand why you are frustrated with me, but it is not my desire to rob you of what happiness you might have. What I did to ensure Miss Zhao Long could attend this academy. The best lie was one with truth mixed into it. Jaune knew that, even as he knew the headmaster was a master of it. Jaune didn't doubt that his presence here had been to protect Yang. He knew that. But that didn't mean Ozpin didn't also want him as well. In any other repeat, it wouldn't have been a problem. It was this time, though. My deputy has repeatedly told me that she believes you are not ready for the responsibilities of being a hunter. Good old Galinda. You could always trust her. I could have shown her this video, the headmaster continued, and it would have surely changed her mind. Your theory work can be improved and some leniencies to be expected here, considering your lack of education. Jaune didn't take the bait. Ozpin wanted to ask him why, to ask why the older man had not shared that video. A clock ticked loudly across the room, before the man sighed and pushed on. I did not, however, show her. With the potential you have, you could do such good in the world, Mr. Ark. You could protect people, save them, lead them, but I will not gamble the lives of innocent people by forcing someone to be a person they have no wish to be. I would very much like it if you would give this life a chance, embrace the opportunity before you of your own volition. I have. Jaune lied, and he knew the man saw it. Jaune could see it in the subtle way his shoulders dropped, even if no one else would have. I'm not cut out to be a hunter. I think that's clear. Perhaps it is. The headmaster turned back around. He looked older than he had ever seen him, and Jaune felt a small sense of guilt. He didn't hate Ozpin for all the things he had done. Yes, he had been tortured once or twice on the man's approval, but Jaune had been killed so many times by others. Ozpin was an ally, never a friend, but someone Jaune had always tried to work with, one way or another. He was someone Jaune respected, as crazy as that sounded. I'll save everyone next time, Jaune promised, but I can't this time. I need more time. I'm going to ask you to continue studying here until the end of this semester, the man finally said, eyes meeting Jaune's. During this time, I would encourage you to interact with your team, to give this life a try. Even if it is for such a short time. If nothing changes, he sighed, then you need not return after the holiday. This was it. Jaune didn't know what to think. His heart fell, but at the same time his mind sang with victory. Yes, he would be abandoning his teammates to their death, but they were all going to die anyway. It didn't matter if he was here or not, but this way would let him live for longer, get a fantastic reset and save them all. Will I be going to a prison cell? Jaune asked, remembering their original deal. You will not. Contrary to what you might believe, to what it might even look like, I do not wish to see such a young man incarcerated, despite how he acts. Nicholas was one of my favorite students. A good teacher wouldn't have favorites, Jaune said. No. Ozpin sighed and turned away once more. A good teacher wouldn't. Jaune waited for the man to say more, but as seconds turned into a minute, he realized there was really little else to say. Jaune had won. For all that, it didn't bring him any joy. It was just something that had to be done. Nothing more. Are we done here? Jaune asked. If there are no improvements by the end of this semester, then we are, yes. But Mr. Ark, should you decide that you have changed your mind, Jaune could have rejected that would never happen, but instead he let Ozpin continue. Should you find it within yourself to embrace your team and this life, then I have asked Galinda to keep an open mind. Even the smallest improvement, just a sign that you could be a person that others could rely on to protect them. It would be enough to assure your place here. An olive branch, though one Jaune had no desire to grasp. That didn't mean he would be so rude as to reject it out of hand. Ozpin was simply doing what he thought was best. Jaune could respect that. I'll keep that in mind, Headmaster. Is there anything else you wish to speak of? I suppose there is not. You are quite the difficult person to talk to, Mr. Ark, and I do not mean that in a negative way. You know your way around words. I learned from the best. Jaune pushed his chair back and stood, making his way over to the elevator. The headmaster hadn't even turned to regard him, still looking out over Beacon. I would have liked to have met the man who taught you. The old man sighed as the elevator door slid shut. You already have. Jaune slumped back against the wall. Ozpin met him every time he looked into a mirror. Bloody hell. He had done it. There was this weekend, the next week, and then just the weekend after. That was 9 days, or just 5 school days in which he had to keep a low profile and not do anything that might inspire the teachers. If he had just continued as he had been until now, then he would be free of Beacon, free of Cinder and her conspiracy, before it could even begin. He had to tell his family the good news, though that could come later. Best to make sure that it is private. If my team found out, then they might try to help me avoid this. That thought brought a small smile to his face, even though it went against everything he wanted. They wouldn't understand, couldn't understand. He would have to explain his curse and what it did, as he had tried so many times before. It just didn't work. Passwords, hidden knowledge, things only they would know. Nobody accepted such an outlandishly stupid claim. Not in a world where semblances existed that might explain them anyway. It didn't matter. So long as nothing happened, he would be free of Beacon and finally able to work on what was really important. The elevator dinged, Jaune stepping out with a light smile. It faded a second later. You still with us, Johnny boy? An unfriendly voice taunted. Jaune sighed as he turned to see Cardin Winchester leaning against the nearby wall. It was obvious he'd been waiting for Jaune to come out of the office, though for once he was without his team. How much trouble did you get in this time? I figured you'd be expelled. Pity you weren't. Jaune rolled his eyes. He was in too good a mood to deal with this idiot. Didn't Yang tell you not to bother me anymore? Jaune asked. Do I really need to go have her and wipe the floor with you again? You would. The teen snorted. He was still in his uniform, but the way Cardin puffed his chest out, he looked just as bulky as when he wore his armor. Only a coward hides behind girls, Ark. Why don't you face me once and for all? And we both know that isn't strictly true, don't we, Mr. Ark? Ozpin's words hit Jaune like a freight train, blue eyes snapping into Cardin's grinning face. The video, that blasted video that had nearly ruined Jaune more than anything else might have. If Cardin hadn't caused that, then Jaune might have already been out of Beacon. If Cardin tried something like that again, if Jaune was forced to defend himself and showed off more of his skills. "Where do you think you're going, Ark?" Carden taunted as Jaune stomped past, walking to an empty classroom next to where the taller boy stood. Carden followed. Of course he did. The idiot couldn't do anything but take advantage of a perceived weakness. Jaune pried on that. The door slammed shut behind Carden, the brute laughing as he strode forward and grabbed Jaune by the shoulder. Jaune's eyes flickered about the room, unused. There were no cameras. Ozpin likely felt he didn't need any, not this close to his office. Carden could not be allowed to ruin things. "About time you stopped running." The fool laughed. Words were for the weak. Jaune spun and slapped the hand away, noticing how the fool's eyes widened momentarily before Jaune delivered a punishing blow up and under the boy's ribcage. Air exploded from his lungs, spit flying from his lips as he bent forward. Jaune didn't stop there. Grabbing the fool by the neck, he stepped past and took him with him, throwing him to the floor. Carden struck the hard tiles, gasping for breath as he tried to push himself up with two hands. Jaune kicked one of them away, watching the brute collapse once more. The smaller teen stepped slowly around him. A boy. That was what Carden was. A child playing at being a man. Someone who still thought the world worked on some stupid schoolyard system. That the big and strong was somehow filled with power, while the smaller people knew their place. Somebody else would have taken him to task in time, but if until then he was going to continue causing trouble, then Jaune would do it himself. "You bastard!" Jaune cut the boy's words off by pressing a foot into the back of his head, grinding his lips down into marble. Humiliation wouldn't do. Yang had embarrassed the idiot time and time again, and yet he still continued. Pain would be the only solution to Winchester's little attitude problem. With a sigh, Jaune leaned down and took a fistful of the other man's coarse hair, dragging him up by it and slamming him down into a nearby desk. Carden threw a hand backwards, trying to strike his attacker, but Jaune caught it with ease, bending it behind his back in a way that threatened to tear the joint from his socket. Carden Winchester went still, his heavy breath all that could be heard in the room. Jaune's was quiet and controlled. This was no great task for him. "I've had enough of this, Winchester," Jaune said, voice even and soft, whispered into Carden's ear. "You are going to stay away from me from now on." "Why you?" Jaune wrenched the head back and slammed it back down again, snapping off the words as Carden groaned in pain. "Wrong answer. Try again." "I'll kill you, Ark." Carden spat. "You'd never be able to, Carden." Jaune sighed and lifted him up. Carden tried to throw another punch, but flinched as Jaune caught it in one hand. With a twist and a pull, he wrapped the arm over Carden's throat, pushing down on it so the boy was cutting off his own air supply. His skin started to turn blue. "I, on the other hand, could kill you very easily right now, Carden." Jaune made sure to look directly into Carden's eyes as he said that, showing the other team the depths of the empty, cold orbs. What the other boy saw there, Jaune didn't know, but it must have terrified him, for his eyes widened and he froze in place, giving up entirely. The rebellion in Carden's eyes were gone, replaced with something else entirely. But Jaune kept the pressure on for a few seconds longer, regardless. Enough to make the teen's eyes start to roll up, enough that his struggles slowly weakened. Carden gasped and fell to his knees as Jaune released him. He did not rise, nor did he make any motion that could have been seen as aggressive. "I want you to remember this," Jaune said. "Remember that today, right now, I could have ended your life. Remember that the next time you push me, I might not be so forgiving." Carden wheezed for breath but kept his eyes fixed on the floor. Do you understand me, Carden? He nodded frenetically. At any other time, it might have not been enough. But right now, Jaune needed more. With one hand, he reached down to grip the top of Carden's hair. The boy flinched and closed his eyes, but he still made no move to stop Jaune. He'd given up. Good. Stay away from me. Don't get in my way and we won't need to have a repeat of this. Got it? Yeah. I understand. Good. Jaune nodded, pushing the head aside roughly, enough that Carden nearly fell over once more. It was a little more direct than he was used to, but it was necessary. If Carden put him in another spot where Ozpin could get that kind of evidence, Jaune would make what happened here look like child's play. Something caught Jaune's eye, a blur of movement that had him looking over towards the classroom door. It was still shut. He would have heard anyone enter. I'm getting paranoid, he realized, but best to move on before someone stumbles across us. He spared one final glance for Carden as he backed out of the room, broken, afraid, and shaking. It wasn't the way he wanted to leave someone who'd become a friend more than a few times. This was for the best, however, for Carden as much as for anyone else. It just wasn't his team's lives who relied on him going back and fixing things. Jaune would have to make up for the guy in the next life. For now, as he pushed open the door and strolled outside, he had to tell his family the good news. Yellow Eyes watched Jaune walk down the hall, hands in his pocket and whistling a light tune. It was light and happy, at odds with the scene that remained in the classroom. Blake Belladonna shook like a leaf, pressed into an enclave just out of sight. Her teeth pressed together, but it felt like she could feel those rattling as well. She had been a fool. All this time, something about her teammate had put her off. Some nagging doubt in the back of her mind that had made her feel on edge. At the time, she attributed it to the fear that he might reveal her secret, either through malice or by accident. She'd been afraid of what that might mean for her, or so she'd thought. Now she knew better. After seeing what she had just seen, peeking in through the window on the door, she knew what she'd been truly afraid of. I, on the other hand, could kill you very easily right now. Blake had watched him lean down on Winchester's throat. She had seen the action, but also the expression on John Ark's face. He hadn't looked angry, he hadn't looked upset, or even like he enjoyed what he was doing. He looked bored. No, that wasn't the right word. He looked unaffected, as though threatening the life of another was no great deal, nothing to be concerned over. Winchester had folded upon meeting those eyes, and Blake could not blame him. That made her shake even now, when she knew he was far away. So much for her plan to confront him over what trouble he'd gotten Yang into. She had meant to talk to him, explain why Yang was upset and ask him to apologize. But now? Blake wasn't sure if she dared face him, let alone demand an apology. Blake ran a hand down her face, breathing between her fingers in an attempt to calm her frayed nerves. She wasn't as successful as she might have hoped, but it was enough for her shoulders to relax a little. The laziness, the indolence, the complete disregard for what others said. His apathy too. In a strange way, it made a little more sense now. Once upon a time, Blake had wondered just why he indulged Weiss' constant pushing. He complained about it, but never snapped or got angry. What's more, if he had been cowed by Weiss, then he would have done what she wanted. Instead, he resisted at every turn, needing the proud girl but otherwise never making her stop. Was that because he found her efforts amusing? Did he never look intimidated because he knew Weiss could never be a threat to him? No, that didn't make sense. His performance in sparse was horrendous. Even if he did have an instinctive grasp on things, his fitness too. He was less fit than they were. Did he see this as all a game? Was that why he attended Beacon? Why he refused to take part in training but otherwise continued to have a presence at this prestigious school? Jaune had put up with Winchester's bullying for weeks now. He had been locked into a rocket locker and stranded among the Grim. He had been covered in sap and attacked by wasps, which no doubt left him with agonizing stings for days. All of that. And he had not even showed his displeasure even once. Yet now, with a little more than a few muttered words, Jaune snapped. Had it been the result of frustration building up? Blake didn't think so. It should have, would have taken more to eventually make him break. Other than Winchester making a vague snap at Jaune being punished, no. From what Blake could see, Jaune had finally decided to stop Cardin on nothing more than a whim. Because at that moment, the blonde had finally become bored with the bullying. What else could it be? Clearly he didn't consider Cardin an actual threat to his safety. From what she had just seen, he could have ended it at any time. Would he turn on Weiss as well? On nothing more than a whim? Would he save Yang next time? Or had he only done so at Forever 4 because he felt like it? Would he reveal Blake's secret when he finally became bored of his games over her name? Blake's last life had been destroyed by someone she had once thought she could trust. Jaune, she wasn't even sure of that. She didn't trust him at all, and worse, he had reason upon reason to dislike her, and perhaps he was already showing them. Or maybe he was waiting for the right moment. Would this new life of hers end the same way as her old one had? Blake kept her eyes to herself as she returned to their dorm. He was there, of course, but when Blake arrived it was to see him being told off by Weiss. He sat on the edge of his bed, pouting slightly as the girl went on about responsibility and how he shouldn't have gotten Yang in trouble. Blake's partner chipped in occasionally, still apparently a little out of it from that afternoon, but cheering up now that she had Weiss on her side. Normally it would have made Blake smile, if only in amusement how quickly Yang could flick from one emotion to another, or how ironic it was that Weiss' knee of all people could fall into a team mother sort of role. Yang often teased about it, but in some ways, Blake thought it looked less like Jaune and Weiss were the parents, and more how Weiss was a single mother to 3 adoptive children. But right now, after what she had just seen, Blake could not laugh. All she could do was watch his eyes from across the room. Watch him as he made vague and silly excuses. The words were there, as were the expressions. He would laugh and smirk, pout and frown, all overdone and dramatic, in a manner perfectly designed to make it clear he wasn't feeling any remorse for what he had done, or Weiss's lecture. It was a typical scene for them, though one Blake hadn't paid much attention to as she should have, because now she made sure to watch his eyes as he talked back to the girl. They never changed, whether he smiled, laughed, frowned or spoke. No matter what he was doing and how the skin around them might crinkle or flex, his eyes remained the same, flat, even, and lifeless. Blake wasn't sure how she could have missed it, but now that she had noticed, she couldn't take her eyes off him. Sleep did not come easy that night, and for once, it was not because of Yang's snoring.